All right. Check, check. Everything sounds good. Cool. Happy Monday. I know, guys. I know it's not Tuesday. Something came up, and I figured instead of leaving you guys hanging, I hop on here for a little bit today, and we could talk about some things, some potential moves. So, to make sure I get everything out there, just like the usual drill. Just like, oh, sorry, you just heard me for a second. Digital, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. I'm just kind of getting my links out there, getting myself settled. I should be doing this before I stream, but haven't gotten that down yet. But how you doing, man? How's your Monday going? How's your start of the week? Start to the week, I should say. All right, I think everything else is good. All right, folks. How y'all doing today? Hope everyone's having a good Monday. I know Mondays usually suck. Nobody likes Mondays, but that's why I like to stream on Tuesdays. No, I'm kidding. So in case you guys didn't hear me before, I'm on here today because I might not be here tomorrow. I got something that came up. Plans kind of switched around on me. Maybe if plans end up getting canceled, I might just hop on here tomorrow and just kind of hang out for a little bit. But if that's not the case, I figured I'd hop on here and give you guys a little update and kind of give you the next step or the train of thought I'm going through right now, and kind of just saying, I was seeing what I want to look. Oh, sorry. I want to see what I want to. Wow, I can't speak today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just looking to see what the next move is going to be. Basically, what I was trying to say. I'm gonna say all right, but reality probably like the worst last little stretch. But yeah, we are all right. I know. I think you're on the West Coast. I know. I think you're still. This is kind of like your tail end of the day. So hope you finish out strong. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. So let's talk about what's going on here. So, like we mentioned last time, price was kind of just taking its sweet time. Kind of consolidating to a bunch of little ABCs here, and usually when this happens, you kind of get some wedge pattern or some some channel that it decides to work with. In this case, it was a wedge pattern. It's not going to be perfect, but something like this. Price broke through, so what's the next step? And for me, there's a couple ways I'm thinking about this. The main way is I would like to see one more pullback. How do I say this? One bigger pullback and then one little continuation trend. So let me just kind of illustrate that for you. So to me, when I'm on let's go to a 30-minute. For me, I see this as a possibility. All right. And that's going to be our first leg. And then we're going to look for a bigger pullback. Oh, and I just messed all of this up. A to a B to a C. So that's what I'm looking for. And then when I zoom out, I can say to myself, you know what? That is a very nice pullback in size comparing to this original trend that we had here. So for me, I want to see something like that before I can comfortably go long and look for much higher of a swing move to the upside. Until then, I'm kind of still remaining in my shorts. I can't, if we do get down here, I will take partial profit. I thought about that the other night, and I just don't want to be that person to cut profits early in case this is a bigger swing. But if price gives me that bigger alternative or that bigger structure here to where I can comfortably say, you know what, just a pullback compared to this original trend is definitely a more viable option. But we haven't gotten that yet. So as of right now, I'm still cruising in my shorts. I don't plan on taking profit, or at least full profit, until I see at least a lower low here to begin a larger, end a larger downtrend. So that's the main option. The alternative is obviously we are sitting in some sort of area of support here. All right. And I definitely acknowledge that there is a possibility that we can definitely just bottom out here and just continue going to where we get this, and that. And then maybe from there, that gets into the territory of zooming too far out, if that makes sense. Like, how do I say this? Because we're getting to the point to where you're constantly trying to short tops. You get a pullback and you don't necessarily want to take profit here because you're expecting lower, and then all of a sudden you get another leg up and you try to short this top, and then you might try to short another ABC within that trend. And that's where it gets kind of in a bad area, bad zone to try to trade, or at least try to short in this case. So for me, I'm willing to hold on to it. I want to see ideally another low before I can take partial profit, just in case that this is just a pullback. This is not going to be a bigger reversal, or at least we're not going to get another larger continuation to the downside. So that's my plan going forward for BTC. That's really about it. Let me just go over chat quick. Hey, a long time no trail. Hey, Trevor, how you doing, buddy? How's it going? Hope you're having a good Monday. I've been hella busy. I know the feeling. I got a lot on my plate too, so I definitely feel you on that. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Let's continue on. I'll mark that out here as a possibility. You know, this is not financial advice, but just saying this is somewhere I will be looking to take some sort of long. And I'm probably going to, if I do decide to take a long, I'm gonna probably just take profit at some point up here. I don't know exactly where it wants to go, but ideally, same thing like I just said about the structure to the downside. I want to see a nice setup to end that uptrend before continuing lower, something like that. And to me, that looks like, perspective wise, that looks really good. So let's see what happens. Those are the options on the table. That's what I'm rolling with right now. Those are basically the only two main ideas for BTC that I actually plan on trading, if that makes sense. Like there is other alternatives to different variations to the structure, but those are the main two I plan on actually taking trades off of if something like that does happen. So let's see what happens from there. Let's go on to Ethereum. ETH is pretty much in the same setup. I think I'm, how do I say this? I think I'm gonna keep the ETH short because I'm short from 1785, so right about here. I'll mark that out for you guys. I don't plan on taking profit. I think I'm gonna just hold this and use BTC as a way to kind of take a partial profit and play longs off of that. Maybe if ETH puts in a decent size setup to the downside here, but that's not going to be right away. I might, if it does want to play out like the way I think it's going to play out, I want to see something like this before I can consider taking a long on ETH. So let's see what happens here. As of now, this is the bottom. Let's see what kind of structure she wants to put in and then go from there. That's about it. LTC, yep, that's short. Trying to think of where my levels are. LTC, all right, LTC is a little bit of a different situation here. It looks like, you did have this ABC, And then within that C leg, you have an ABC. Good setup. I'm curious, what was the R&R on that? But I don't think this is necessarily over. Using a one, I like to use 1.5 with LTC. All right, a 5 right now, we're decent. So what I want to see happen now is that this is one continuous trend. Okay, so now that this trend is broken and has finished, I want to see some sort of uptrend, pullback, continuation to then form a larger pullback trend. So this would be the B wave, and then from there, I would possibly consider taking another short to at least get a lower low past that 52.25 region, 52.26. So that is ideally what I want to see from LTC. I don't see, besides this little setup here, I don't see anything long position. I don't want to take any longs in this area, or I want to at least wait for the bigger structure of the form before I actually make a informed decision to take some sort of long. So that's about it. XRP, same thing. I want to see some sort of lower low, and this is going to be something like that, and then from there, that's going to be a bigger A to a B to a C. So let's see what that's pretty much the main scenario for XRP. I don't really plan on playing that at all. That's just me though. Let's see. BCH, same thing. ABC here with an I'm looking for an ABC within the C. And I could sit here and draw this all day, but ideally I'm looking for this setup. XMR. Okay. Oh, this is decent actually. All right. So if I see a lower low past a 142.25 around there, 141.60, then I can comfortably say, okay, let's go ahead and try to take this long. Let's see. Mind taking a look at Flux? Absolutely, digital. I'll do Flux instead of XTZ. You know, let me add that to my list right now. What's the? I want to say Binance is probably the best one. If it's not the best chart, digital, just let me know. Let's see. So Cardano, pretty much the same thing. As of more recent price action, I'm looking for a lower low on kind of like a medium term time frame. And remember, it's only until I get a lower low past that 43.45, and then the price can come back above is where I'm going to take the longs. So, if you guys are new, I know I got a decent amount of subscribers recently, and I can tell some of you are from TikTok. If you guys are here from TikTok, you guys aren't aware, or just in general, if you guys aren't aware of the strategy I use and you're tuning in live right now, just feel free to ask any questions regarding said strategy or just trading in general. I could definitely point you in the right direction when it comes to getting you guys on the right track. So just ask away. I know Digital is in here. Trevor, I'm assuming you're probably still in here, but just in case. And also, if you guys are watching the rerun, feel free to ask me anything in the comments section, or my Discord's in the description. Feel free to hit me up, DM me on Discord and ask me anything. I'm an open book for the most part. Long as you don't, as long as it's not like, hey, show me this from A to Z, that's going to take a little bit more work. But if you just have like little questions, I can answer them all day. So feel free to ask. All right, good. Trevor, you're still in here. So Sol, pretty much same thing. It's kind of bounce. It's kind of, it's ABCing to death on the way down. So basically ABC. I want to see a significant break in trend before, this is going to be one trend here. let's just assume that this is the bottom. I want to see a significant break and then some sort of retest, and then from there I can go ahead and place a long. All right, so that's about it for Solana, KDA. All right, KDA is in an interesting position. All right, I might add this to my list, or I might I might take a look at the setup and possibly take a position on this, because you do have a very solid downtrend with a good break in trend, and now we can get some sort of continuation to where we test the lower low at about $1.55. So definitely put that on your radar if you guys haven't checked that out yet. I definitely will be looking at that and setting an alert. I want to see what the trade structure would look like on this, because using 1% is an absolute no-no on this coin. I would say like a 3%. Yeah. Yeah, 3% is decent. All right, XTZ. Oh, no, I'm not going to do XTZ. Let's do Flux. All right. I want to get a bigger perspective first. Get a higher high. All right, so you had a flat there. Okay, so this could be... All right, so usually when it comes to something new that I haven't looked at yet, this is how I approach it. I look at the bigger structure, right? And for me, this is an ABC. Now, there's two different ways this can play out. This could come back down. I'm not saying here it could put another high, but it could come back down and put a lower low. But that's, we gotta understand that we're on a much bigger time frame. So ideally, what I think the alternative is going to be is that I feel like we're in an uptrend. We're going to see some sort of pullback and then a continuation higher. Don't know how deep that pullback's going to be, but that's kind of what I want to see. So let's go over to the smaller time frame. Let's do a 30-minute. Because this looks like one continuous trend to me. So if you want to, there's a couple different options here. One, you can play the pullback, all right, and play the ABC within the C. All right, so let's just get rid of this bigger structure just because I was just illustrating it. You could, if you can get a long off of 81.20, I can't. That's a very small number. 81.22. I would go ahead and attempt that if price can get back below, and then you can catch it back above, because that would look like a more significant completed structure to me. That's the one option. I don't know. Can you trade Flux with leverage, digital? Let me know. If not, it'd be a good time to buy, because then you can catch the. You can catch. I would say you can. I wouldn't say confidently, but I think the probability of that completing an actual bigger structure to form a pullback before going up continuing is going to be higher. The other alternative is that this is just an A. So this whole thing is just an A. Oh, come on. A B and then to and then to a C. That's the alternative. I'm not saying I don't necessarily favor one over the other. I just think that regardless, you should probably play that long. And if you see a decent sized structure or a decent sized pullback in size, compare it, you can compare to this, then I would say, okay, you know what? You could take the long and then hold a short. Head short, and then you can play from there, because you can either play the continuation down further, or, you know, if you get stopped, then that's a good sign for your long, and your long can continue upward. So that's probably what I'm gonna go with. Not that I know of. Trying to pick up a significant chunk more. I run nodes and want to set up an. Okay, yeah, I know. I know the flux nodes are pretty cool, or interesting concept. I know people who mine flux. So I think if you're just looking to get buys digital, I would say stick to that. And if you're not going to use ABCs, you're just looking to buy, the next best thing is going to be playing off of supports, like local lows. So you do have, so say if that fails, your next only decent area of support is like that 58-cent region. And if that fails significantly, you're looking at that 40-cent region. If you're playing more spot, I would lean more towards just kind of taking or buying in local low areas. You could play off of ABCs, but for me personally, I don't need to get too technical when I'm trying to buy spot. I just understand where certain supports matter and where you can actually pick some up. So whether ABCs do form from there or not, because I could see it from here. You do have a decent structure, and it does call for just a pullback. You know, I can't sit here and say that I can go all the way back down to here. So if you want to play that route, absolutely go for it. But just understand, if that fails, your next level of support is like that 58-cent region. So that's about it. Yeah, I was sort of hoping for another hard dip. Got lucky with that last big move. Sort of trying to watch the market as a whole. Absolutely. Definitely. Flux is Web3. The last sort of trying to watch the market as a whole. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But just off a technical side, that's all I would do. I mean, you can try to time it with BTC. I don't think that's the best thing to do, to be honest. I don't recommend that at all to most people. Sometimes you can do it, but other times it's kind of hard. So that's about it. We're just kind of hanging out here. If you guys are just tuning in, we did go over the TA on pretty much everything on this list. Oh, you guys can't see the list. Let me move myself down. Let's keep myself down there. I pretty much went through everything on the list here. So if you guys have any questions, or you want me to go over something, you're just tuning in, please feel free to ask. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your input. Of course, Digital. I appreciate you stopping by, hanging out, asking away. Now we're just gonna hang out for a little bit. I want to do this because I have the reason why I'm streaming today is because I have a feeling that I might not be able to make it tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. It's not gonna be a longer live stream. If I do have time tomorrow, I will hang out, and you guys can ask me anything. We're just gonna hang out. I'm just gonna do my thing if I have time. If not, I have other things I gotta work on. And I'm not gonna have time to stream tomorrow, so that's primarily why I'm here. Can you look at Matic? Absolutely. Let's see. What do you think? Let's see. I'm assuming the tether. Okay, so Matic was kind of. Let me see something here. This is the first time I'm looking at this, so just give me a moment. Look at this. All right, I want to use this as an example. Thank you for bringing this up. Just hanging. What do you think? I'll get to that in a second. But in case you aren't familiar with my strategy, one of the things that I kind of illustrate with the ABCs, and this is not usually something I do, but this is a common example of what it is when you're not necessarily looking for it. So all ABCs are basically uptrends, continuation, or pullbacks, and then continuations. Now, usually what will happen is you'll get some sort of break of trend and then a retest. All right, this is like a textbook scenario of what an ABC is. But I just want to show you this because like this is almost a beautiful example. So this is more of like a broad trend. It's not exact. I'm just kind of just illustrating this. But in this example, you do have this. Oh, shit. You do have this bigger A to a B to a C. And that's kind of what you want to see is you want to see some sort of break in trend and then a retest. And then the overall trend can be considered completed. That's just kind of, it's not textbook, it's not perfect, but that's almost that's a decent example of what ABCs can look like. Let's see. Goji. Hey Johnny, thanks for streaming. I love the ABC method and I've been trying it out. I find it hard to determine when to take profits. Could you please talk about that? I'm trading on a 1 hour chart. Absolutely. Let me just go over Matic quick because I know someone else asked. Basically, long story short, everything is kind of following the same direction. I don't necessarily, oh, that's a way too small of a time frame. So what I mean by that is like this is very similar to ETH. ETH has its bigger A to a B to a C. Now within that, I could sit there and draw ABC all day, and then with another ABC. I'm not going to do that, but for easier to make this easy, ABC. So now what I want to see is a much larger structure kind of build out in comparison in size to this before I can determine that this is just a bigger pullback, or if it doesn't want to give me that, it's going to look for a much lower, much harsher or bigger price drop. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to go to, it's going to completely die off a cliff here if that doesn't happen, but you got to consider the options here. And like this looks like it's consolidating on a decent area of support. So let me just kind of show you my train of thought and how I determine whether or not what I want to see. So, very similar to what BTC and ETH are doing. I see that this is one continuous trend. All right. And then basically, there is an ABC here, but it's very tiny. And now we have some sort of pullback / consolidation. So now we're having, I don't know where this trend's going to end. But since I don't know where this trend's going to end, I can almost kind of put the puzzle together. Now, what I mean by that is once I identify a significant break in trend, in this case, it's this one, I have a point of origin or point of entry. Now, I'm looking for a lower low past where this green line is. And that for me is going to confirm an ABC. Now, some people will get lost in the sauce with this because, they see this and you think it's a market bottom or at least a bigger bottom here. Very well could be. But when I look back and I look at perspective and looking at, does this here look good enough in comparison in size compared to this? And to me, and I feel like most of you guys who are doing this can probably say no. So if that's the case, what's the next step? The next step for me is once I identify a possible place to go long off of, I have to take into consideration that this is probably most likely just going to be some sort of pullback. So what I mean by that is this ABC turns into one larger structure, all right, or one larger trend. So this is going to be the A. Next, I'm going to be, well, I did it again. I double clicked. Next, the next uptrend is probably going to be a more significant pullback to form some sort of B wave. And then from there, I can go, I can go from there and look for some bigger continuation to at least test the lower low of the new A. All right, because if you get a lower low, that's going to complete this structure. So wherever that wants to bottom out, this is just for an example purpose. So now what I do from there is I zoom back out and I think to myself, okay, let's just say this goes a little deeper. I'm trying to paint a bigger picture of what could be. If I go back and what I said before, if I'm looking at this as a bigger ABC, does this pullback look good in comparison to this? In my opinion, I say it's decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. So as I'm putting the puzzles together, I can think to myself, okay, if this is going to be just one trend before we pull back and continue, I'm probably going to want to take profit on a long somewhere up here. Now, there's different ways of doing that. Me, primarily, it depending on how many trades I have open, depends on what kind of setup I'm looking for. There's a lot of variables I take into consideration when I do plan this out for myself. One of the things I look for is the 0.441 region. So in this case, it's going to be around here. And that does line up with this area of support / resistance here. This is kind of consolidation. So that's one area you could take profit. I'm not telling you that's going to be the top, but you can take profit around there, or you can look for some sort of ABC pullback within this region. And then from there, you can say, okay, you know what? I'll take profit. I have a bearish setup. This looks like this could be a bigger continuation, or this could set itself up to be one more continuation down to break that lower low. So that's pretty much it. Like, that's kind of like the mindset / thought process I go through when I do these type of things. So for me, as of right now, what I can say is, if you're going to take a long, look for this setup here, and then go ahead, take the trade. But just be aware that the odds of this being an actual bottom or a trend that's going to be more of a bottoming trend is going to be a lot slimmer, in my opinion. So go ahead and determine where you want to take profit on it. Or what you can do, another thing, is you can take half profit and then let it come back and stop you out. You still walked away with some money. And worst case scenario is, let's say we do bottom, we just continue to pump from there. It really depends on, I can't predict where price is going to go, but I can predict what I want to do, or I can at least dictate what I want to do. So that's ideal. That's kind of how I approach that. So the only thing I can say is look for that lower low past that 76.04, and then from there take a long, and then see where price goes from there. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Goji, let me go. So let me read your question again. Thank you for streaming. Love the ABC method. Okay, turn to take profit. Could you? Okay, so I kind of touched up upon this just now, having that kind of, just going through the thought process of how I think, how I determine when to take profit. It depends on what kind of trade you're taking. So let me explain. On this short, so I'm short from off of this structure here. All right, because to me, I see a bigger A to a B to a C. Now, obviously, the C continues on to here, but I didn't want to take that structure or take a trade off of that structure. So for me, I'm short off of this because to me, this is a more macro pivot. Now, the question is, where do I want to take profit on this short? Now, to me, I see this as a bigger A to a B to a C. So in my head, I'm thinking this could be a chance to be a overall bigger trend change to where price can actually come back down and test, and probably, if it does get that low, put in a lower low past 17.6 or 600. Not saying that's 100% in the cards. That's what I think is going to happen. I just have to include that as a possibility. So from there, what is my approach to taking profit on this short? So there's a couple of different ways I do this, and there's different reasons. One is holding too big of positions, especially like, for example, if you're dead set on looking for that bigger pivot and looking for that lower low, I can't sit here and say that that's 100% the guarantee. Yeah, you're going to be swinging for a home run, and that's going to be a grand slam of a trade. But you have to think is, what if it doesn't happen? What's the game plan there? You're going to sit there and get stopped out and play all this price action, and you're going to, because me personally, aiming for those big of a swings is a bit greedy. Now, it's greedy if you're all or nothing, if that makes sense. So like if you take a position and it basically say, I'm either riding till it gets down to that 17,600 level, or I'm letting it stopped out and I'm going to keep trying until something new happens. That in itself is a form of greed, because you're looking for such a big swing that most of the times it hurts you more than it helps you. So this is how I approach it, because I've been through price action very similar to this, and it has wrecked me using that same thought process I just told you guys. Or I just told you guys of that. I'm not saying everyone does it, but I'm saying that some people do have that approach to, hey, these ABCs are hitting, these things are good. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be dead set on a very keen idea that I have. So how you can combat that is a couple different ways. You can take profits based off of ABCs in comparison to prior structure. So what I mean by that is, you know, I've mentioned this in the past. This is a bigger ABC here. And then you're going to take a short. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take profit off of a larger structure. Now, I'm not saying that this structure here is the larger structure. I'm talking like this is going to be a bottom, a pullback, and then continuation. If you get something like that, then I can say, you know what? If you want to go ahead and secure profits, you can. The downside to that is if this C leg doesn't hold, you're more likely to continue downward. And do you really want to miss out on that price action? So that's one direction you can take. Another direction that's similar to this is that you can take partial profits. So, you know, let's say you take a quarter or half, and what you can do is you can take a hedge long. So let me just paint you an example. So let's just say this is the bottom, just for easier to explain. Let's say something like this happens. It's still a good enough size in comparison for me to consider that this is just one bigger B to continuation to a C. So what I would do as one of the options is, if price comes up here and then makes its way back down and puts in a lower low, you can take partial profit while simultaneously taking longs. And what this will do is this will give you a little bit more security when it comes to securing profit, because what happens if this is the bottom? You know, let's say this is the bottom before we continue higher. If you continue higher from here, yeah, you're going to lose money on your short, but you secured a little bit of that bigger short that you had, and on top of that, you're taking a long, which is going to give you a little bit more profit and help you lock in whatever you had, the profit you had down here, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Please clarify if that doesn't. So for me, that's one of the few approaches I take, is if I see a big enough structure, I'm gonna take partial profit as well as take a hedge position to where I'm holding simultaneous shorts and longs at the same time. If you guys have any questions on hedging, please let me know. I can answer any questions regarding how I approach hedging, why you should hedge. But now pretty much all you do here is now you just let these two positions fight, because this is such a significant point of invalidation that if it does break and continue higher, you don't have to worry about re-entering short, because it looks like price is going to continue higher from here. But let's say price only stops about right here. Well, unfortunately, or let's say, I'm trying to think. Let's say price, let's just say that this is just a pullback, and let's say that price wants to continue high, or continue a little bit higher, but then crash lower. All right, and it can easily put in a much bigger structure than we're anticipating. That's obviously an option. If that is the case, you might lose out on that hedge short. You might lose, but you're also keeping the profit from that bigger short that you were holding. Sorry, did I say short before? I meant to say long. You lose the profit, you lose out on what you had on the long, but you're still continuing to hold shorts. And on the side, you also took a little bit of profit. So unfortunately, you're not going to get the full benefit of holding your full position, but it's about balancing profit with security. And that right there gives you a little bit of security in being able to hold those shorts just in case price does continue and actually put in a bigger leg down. So hopefully that explains what that is. Try to think if there's any other way of how I approach it. The third option is just basically, okay, well, there's one more. I'm sorry. There's one more way I approach this. Okay. So let's say let's just say hypothetical here. All right. Let's say price does continue downwards, and let's say it's a little bit more aggressive. So like, let's say we get down, up, and then we just, we go for it full send. And let's say, doomsday, something happens. All right. What I will do is, depending on how far, it really depends on the structure, folks. So just keep in mind, this is not concrete. I kind of observe this, how I approach it, if that makes sense. I kind of go as I see things. So in this example, price does not kind of come back up and form a bigger structure. We just keep trending down. We just keep going down like that. So where we put in a much significant bigger trend on the first leg. Now, what I will do is, if that is the case, I will look for some sort of pullback on a much bigger scale, because if price doesn't consolidate and form a bigger pullback and then another leg down from here, and it decides that first trend wants to go down lower, the odds of this structure being a little bit bigger becomes greater. I can't guarantee, but based off what I see, it looks like it's gonna, how do I say this? It'll look like it wants to based on probabilities. And then for me, the deeper I see these trends go, the more probable for me to assume that we can get a possible bigger leg down to form a bigger pivot, especially down at the 17,600 level. So if that's the case, what I'm looking for next is a decent ABC. Okay, something like this in this size. From there, what I can do is, if I see a decent sized viable short option that's, how do I say this, that has retraced a good amount to where it's probably not going to go back and touch my entry, I will find a new short position. And what I'll do from there is I will take profit on that original short, and then I will take a short off of the new position. So let me just kind of illustrate that. All right. And so what this does is, if you can find a second position that's good enough in size and play the continuation down, if that fails, ultimately the chances of prices going up and retesting up here is greater. So this idea of what you had here might not play out. So what happens is, you secure profit, you take another position where it makes sense, and then you play the probabilities of continuing down. And worst case scenario is that you secured a majority of your profit, but you might have lost some trying to take that additional short. So, and the benefit to this is you can compound. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know how much you're going to make, but what this allows you to do is that, let's say you made a decent amount and you didn't get stopped out that much playing, or let's say you call it the smaller structure, you call it the top. This allows you to compound whatever the gains you made and use that into that position. And if you're using good risk management, you're not going to lose all of that profit you made up here. So now basically it becomes a situation to where you have a good enough position to take a trade off of. And from there, you can either let it go, because if it pumps against you and it goes against you and it continues upward, in this case, odds are it's probably going to stop you out up here anyway. So, and like I said, the benefit to this is that you can catch a bigger continuation down, and you can catch another trade where you can compound and make just a little bit more money. So hopefully that answers, that was a lot. I hope that answers your question. So the hedging comes into place if an ABC is forming around a significant area of possible reversal on the way down. If you are short, just react to what the market gives you. Correct. I like the continuation hedge. The continuation hedge is beautiful, but sometimes there's a time and place for it. And it all really depends on the size of the structure, if that makes sense. So let me give you guys a better example of somewhere where I did this. I'm trying to remember where I did this from. Okay, this is where I did this. So I was short off of this ABC back in November in the bull market. when the bull market ended. Okay. So instead of just taking profit immediately at a certain area, what I did was I let the price action play out. All right. So you have an A to a B. Okay. And when this B was forming, I noticed that, hey, we have a very significant ABC here. Now look at the ABC pullback in size comparison to this. It's not big, but it's big enough for me to say, you know what? I can go ahead and take profit on this short just in case this is a continuation. Because what could have easily happened is you could have got a dip and then, you know, A, B, and then easily at least come up here to retest. And then from there, you could have had another chance to do it. I'm not saying that just because if it would have failed, it would have gone all the way up to the top. But for me in this situation, this is a very significant sized ABC. So I know that, hey, this has at the very least potential to come down and test this level. So if I wanted to, I could take a short, take profit, and re-enter short again. And if I get stopped out and if this position becomes invalid, let it happen. At the end of the day, you still walked away. And that's exactly what I did. I took profit on here, and then re-entered short using the gains that I made from here. And then just did it again. And I don't think I did it again on this time. I think I took profit and then set up another short here. But you could have easily done that again up here. So hopefully that kind of explains that to you. Goji. Only do it if it's significant in size. Like, it doesn't happen that often. But when it does happen, it's a juicy one. It can definitely hit. So like, let me just give you an example of like a possibility that could happen. Awesome. Thanks for explaining. Of course, man. I hope that helps. It's a lot sometimes, and sometimes I talk too fast. So if I talk too fast and I'm going through things and you need to, need me to take a step or two back, need me to rewind or just re-explain something, please let me know. That was a lot. And I hope it was enough, or I hope you guys consumed it well. So, like, let's just give you an example of trying to think of something like realistically what could happen in nearer term. I don't think this is a good example. Like, let's say, okay, let's reverse this. Let's say you were long off of, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Let's just pretend that this was an ABC down. All right. Hypotheticals here, folks. Hypotheticals. All right, let's say you were long off of this area. Let me clear this up and mark this with a green line. All right. And from there, let me mark it as green just to show you guys that I'm going to take a long. Hey, let's say you're holding longs, you're doing great. But what if, let's say, this pullback becomes a bigger pullback? It's the same concept. I now see that I have a significant ABC structure to the downside to where this can possibly reverse and continue higher. So what I can do from there is I can take profit once I see that bigger structure form. And from there, I can just ride the wave. Because like I said, if this fails, the odds of it coming down and stopping you out anyway are going to be a lot higher. So you secure, it's not the most profit, but you secure it a little bit, and you have another chance to possibly take a bigger position. So, nah, man, it's perfect. You are good at this. Thank you. I have had a lot of practice and I studied a lot. So hopefully, I would hope I would do a good job. Nice stream. I gotta go see you. Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate you as always, man. Thank you for stopping by. Oh shit, it's almost 8 o'clock. All right. Anything else? Yeah, I know there's a couple of you guys in here. Do you guys have any other questions for me? If not, I gotta wrap this up pretty quick because I was actually supposed to leave like 20 minutes ago. But I don't mind hanging out. So, all right, I just gotta text someone. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be glad to ask. Or sorry, I'd be glad to answer. Thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you too, buddy. Thank you so much for tuning in, stopping by, asking questions. It was a great question. So I love engaging. I love being able to help you guys out. Tell me about your Discord in course. Oh, I appreciate you asking. So, I do have my own Discord. It's a paid group, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but the thing is, like, I know some people don't necessarily like that, but instead of me giving you a course and charging you a flat rate of like, because I would probably, if I were to give this in a course, I'd probably charge like $300 to $500, but I'm gonna give you everything. Like everything, and that's a lot of it. That goes over the setups, the psychology, basic fundamentals. I'm gonna do my best to basically give you guys all that in one package. The alternative for me is I'm gonna have you sign up for the Discord here, and I'll kind of just show you guys. I have pretty much everything. If not, I'm gonna be adding more to it. So I go everything from basic leverage tutorials, leverage trading tutorials, you know, how to set up your risk calculator, making sure that you guys are taking, well, first this goes over basic support and resistance, local highs and local lows. And basically I take you through the steps of what it takes to get to the ABC part. I'm not saying you guys have to trade local highs and local lows. It's the same principles almost. It's just a little bit of a more advanced level. I also have trading psychology stuff. I go over, you know, I have a couple things I want to do. I'm constantly adding stuff to this, talking about different things that you might come across, different issues you might come across when it comes to trading. So this not even, a lot of it's not even chart related stuff. It's just basic stuff talking about other aspects of it, which mostly when it comes to psychology point, that's 3/4 of the battle, in my opinion. And I also have the ABC method tutorials where basically I have an overview slash most of the information you're going to need. A lot of it, as I talk about in the stream, basically going over, you know, what is the ABC method, how to get started, focusing on bigger time frames, zooming in, how to structure your trades, how to hedge, and basically that's everything you're gonna need soup to nuts about the ABC method. So if you guys are interested, I'm just gonna shill my stuff. I do have a lot of information. I do plan on adding more to it. So instead of me releasing a course, I figured, you know what, I give you guys a chance to sign up, take as much information in as you want for like a couple months or a month or two. Some people have done it in a couple weeks. Some people have done it in, you know, a month. Some people have done, I know once somebody, you know, kind of got the hang of it after 2 months. It's a little bit cheaper and it gives you guys a little bit more time to soak up the information. And you also get access to me 24/7, except for when I'm sleeping. And I also have my setups. You get access to my setups as well. You know, I talked about this in the long setup I was telling you guys just here on stream. You get it real time from me. And that's about it. Besides like the information, you also get access to me and if you have any questions as well. And if you guys have any, okay, joining now. Okay, if you're gonna join, make sure you do the all ABC section because some people were confused on which one to join, and I wasn't gonna be a stickler about, you know, you signing up for the wrong tier. Just sign up for the all things ABC, all things leverage trading ABC. What I'm gonna do eventually is I'm gonna take the beginner stuff, which is the DCA method, because I feel like eventually I want to kind of talk to more people who don't know what trading is and kind of work their way into it. I'm gonna just take that separately, make it a separate course. So if you guys are just gonna sign up for the Discord, it's just gonna be all ABCs. You don't have to worry about anything else. So I really appreciate you signing up, though. It really means the world to me. You support me, support the channel, and even if you guys didn't sign up, I really, really appreciate you guys like tuning in and asking me questions. Like I was in shock the other day when I realized I had 107 subscribers on YouTube. Like that means the world to me. So thank you guys. Thanks to every single one of you who are watching me now or watch this or watching the rerun. If you guys made it up to this point, I love every single one of you. I really do. It means the world to me. So if you guys can support, I would 100% really appreciate that, and I will help you guys out as best as I can, even if it's not through the live streams. You know, if you need me to hop on a call or if you need me to hop on Discord and you have some I'll even send you video answers. I sent someone a video answer the other day, basically asking me a question, and I made a video because it's a lot easier for me to explain through a video than it was through typing everything. So, which tier is all ABC? I'll pull it up here. Give me 1 second here, folks. How do I view this as... Shit. Let's see. All right, so it's gonna be, so you have to click the drawdown menu. It's gonna be this one here, all things leveraged in ABC. You know, obviously down the road, this is gonna be more for people who are having trouble. My goal is to I don't want you guys to sign up for this. As much as I would love to have some more money, I want you guys to figure this out. If you guys really need the extra help, I do offer that. It is going to take a little bit more time to sit down and work things out, you know, especially if you're having problems. So I try not to do that, or try not to push that, because obviously I want you guys to figure this out on your own. If you guys are new to this, and let's say you're from someone observing from the outside in, and let's say you're not really into leverage trading, I do offer a consultation as well. Basically, my job for that is to give you guys the best idea and perspective of what you should be looking for in trading, what's realistic. A lot of people don't really have an answer to that. I could definitely point you in the right direction, and also depending on your situation as well. I've had a couple people sign up, and I talk to people who have money, and talk to people who don't have money, and I do my best to kind of give you a plan to how to, if you really want to get into this game, what's the best setup for you. So if you guys are interested, the link's in the description, but you guys don't have to. All right, folks, I love every single one of you. Thank you guys so much, but I have to go. I was supposed to be where I'm supposed to be, but luckily it's right down the street. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate every single one of you tuning in. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over, because I don't know how else to show my appreciation. And I definitely, as things continue to grow, I will give back to you guys as much as I can, whether it's through information. I might do giveaways and stuff in the future. I just want to do my best to give back, because you guys are helping me out, and I figure I'd help you guys out as well. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, I might be back tomorrow, depending on what I got going on. If not, definitely Thursday. And then maybe if I have time throughout the week. I keep saying that there's nothing set in stone, but there might be an extra live stream here or two where we just hang out. Maybe go over some other stuff. I really don't know. It's just kind of in the air. But I really thank you guys again. I will see you guys soon. Once you guys know the plan, be careful, be safe, come up with a plan, trade the plan, and I will definitely talk to you guys on the next one. Thank you guys again. Oh, will I be billed twice since the month is also yeah, so you will be billed twice, actually. Good thing you said that. I completely forgot it was the end of the month. If you're dead set, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do this. You know what? DM me, and I will figure something out. If you want, ideally it's best to wait until the beginning of the month, the 2nd preferably. If you're looking to get in sooner, we'll figure something out. Just DM me if you don't want to wait. But ideally, I would say wait till the 2nd. So, okay. Thank you. You called. That was a really good time, because I was about to hit the end stream button. No worries. Oh wait, cool. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Be good, be safe, have a